name's Tracey Cook, and welcome to the podcast series Victim to Victory. This series gives a voice to those that have overcome obstacles in all forms, that dare greatly to share their real stories. Amazing humans like our upcoming guest that have seen hope and risen above those adversities to become victorious, that now support and inspire others to do the same. And today we are giving a voice to a new author, Effie Sanford. Welcome to Victim to Victory.
Hi, thank you.
You're very welcome. Now, I just want to tell our audience just a little bit about who you are and what you're actually doing, because in the audience with our Victim to Victory community, we love people who are inspiring and motivating and helping other people in the world to be the change that the world actually needs. And Effie, you are one of those people. And I know that you help women over 40 to reclaim their lives without excuses. And you have a chapter in an upcoming book, which we'll talk about very soon. And I love the title of this chapter. It just encompasses all that Effie Sanford is all about. And it's called Bloom Without Boundaries. Wow, if you're a woman and you're over 40, I can just hear those light bulbs going off with that chapter heading, Bloom Without Boundaries. Now, ever since Effie was 9 years old, she's loved writing, and she's going to share with you a little bit about why she wants to share her story and what prompted her to be an author during this interview as well, and how she really reclaimed her confidence. And Effie, we would love to get to know you today. So where does your story start?
When I was 9, my sister was put in the hospital for 8 months. Since she was in the hospital so long, my mother was there with her. And of course, this was about 2 hours away. So she didn't get to come to see us, and we didn't see her. So, of course, my sister was 2 years older than me. We were best friends. She did everything for me. She was my little mama. But when she went off to the hospital and my mom was gone with her, I felt a loss. And I was, at 9 years old, I was scared. So I found a way to kind of get in my little secret place, and I wrote in a diary. And I wrote in it every day. I filled it up. I got another one. And that's when I realized, I love this. I love to write. And I started making up stories just to spend the time and to just take me away from what was going on in my reality. And that helped with the missing of missing my mother and my sister. And I think it helped me. It was a coping mechanism to begin with. But that's how it started. I started inventing my own stories. And then I became an avid reader. If there's anything that, they have these little memes on Facebook, the way to kidnap me. Mine is the van full of books. Because, that would get me, and it says free books here. That would get me. But
and what do you like about books, and what do you like about reading? Is it the imagination? Is it the escapism? What is it for you?
I think it's everything. But what I really like is knowing that these different authors have that imagination, and they can write it down. They can put it in a story that people will enjoy and just dive into. I mean, if it's a good story, you dive into it and it's like you're there. And it just, to me, it made it irresistible. I mean, why not write? Why not create your own story? And and even the stories, reality story. Everyone has a story. If you talk about your story, if you write about your story, if you use that to help others, then even if it helps one person, it was worth it. It was worth writing it down or sharing it.
And do you still have the journals or the diaries that you used to write in as that little 9-year-old girl?
Not the first one, and I'm so upset with myself for getting rid of it, but I was like, oh no, I don't want anybody to read this. I mean, that was really me, that was nothing made up. And I don't know, I had a brother and sister that, they were younger, that good bit younger than me. And I didn't want them going through my stuff. So I would just, I got rid of it. But I do have a lot of my journals. I do have a lot of my writings. I have a novel that I never edited and didn't send it off to publication. A lot of authors are, they limit themselves. They say they're not good enough. I remember Stephen King, I don't know if it was Salem's Lot or another book. I want to say Salem's Lot, but he wrote one book, or he was writing it, and he crumpled up the papers and threw it in the trash. His wife found it, took it out and read it, and said, "You're not throwing this away. This is not trash." And of course, it became a #1 bestseller. And I want to say that's how he started. I can't remember the entire story, but we think that we put ourselves down, we beat ourselves up. We don't think that we're good enough. We don't think if you're an artist or a writer or anything, when you create something, you don't feel like, I mean, there's some out there, there's wonderful people out there that, they go ahead with it. They risk it, they risk rejection. But there's some of us that stay in that fear mode too long. And I just turned 50 this year. So I'm learning, that I do have this confidence. I do have this story to tell, and it's pretty good. And there's someone out there that wants to hear my story. And for the authors to look at their work and say, oh, it's not good enough, without sending it out. I mean, you don't know until you try.
Mm-hmm.
Get those rejections and keep getting those rejections. And, this is my breakthrough. I feel like, I'm blooming even further, even though I help others. I feel like this is helping me continue my climb, my journey, whatever it is, my next goal.
So you've been smashing through those self-limiting beliefs, and you've been adding some personal development, and you've been learning, and you've been growing. And as you grow, you're helping other people to grow and bloom as well. So that's
Right.
absolutely wonderful. And if you don't mind, Effie, talk to us a little bit about these inner critics, I call them, that sit on our shoulder and tell us that we can't do something, or we should wait, for it to be perfect, or we kind of do that self-sabotage thing and go, oh well, it wouldn't have worked anyway. Has any of this been a few obstacles that you've encountered along your journey as well?
Oh yes, all of it. I was always very good at self-sabotage. There's this song, Don't Let Me Get Me. I'm my own worst enemy. And that song was me, because, I would put myself down. I would say, this is not good enough, or I can't do that, or, just anything negative. And I was like, no, it's crazy. You have to, like the Sister Hazel, I think in music. Sorry, but the
No,
sister
that's
Hazel,
fine.
the sister Hazel song says, if you don't like where you are, change your mind. And that's really all we have to do is change our mind, train our mind to think positive, grow with it, go with it, and just bloom. Let yourself bloom. Let yourself take those risks. I mean, who is it really going to affect in the end?
Hmm.
You know?
Well, we definitely have to wear our stories like a superhero cape and not like an anchor. And there is definitely such a reason why on airlines they tell us to put our own oxygen mask on first, because we have to pour into ourselves. Otherwise, we can't pour into anybody else. If we don't love ourselves, if we don't step into our own power, we can't help other people do that.
Right.
So I'm so pleased that you've gone on this journey of transformation and really kick those self-limiting beliefs and those inner critics to the curb, to really bloom without boundaries and empower other people along the way as well. Now, you were 9 years old. You discovered that you loved writing. You fell in love with writing and the escapism and the imagination. And parts of that, no doubt, you were sharing your own story as well, in your diary and journaling. And what was one of the most surprising things that you learnt in writing the chapter of your collaborative book that is being released soon?
Um, I thought that before this, I thought that I knew that my confidence was growing, that I was stronger. Uh, hey, I'm a late bloomer, but it's okay because I'm there. But I didn't really realize that I needed to really feel that confidence. I needed to really feel that burst of motivation and to feel expectation, um, and gratitude for who I've become, and this collaborating with this book showed me, hey, look, I'm doing this. I mean, it was actually just a spur of the moment decision, and I just jumped at it, and I was like, what the heck? And like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even I I would have made an excuse, and I wouldn't
Hmm.
have done it, and then I would have lost that chance, that opportunity. And so, I'm still growing, and the more I help people, the more I talk with them and counsel them, the more I feel like, hey, I'm able to do this. And my confidence grows. Um, and I have a saying, let your soul shine. And that's what is happening to me now. It's finally my soul is shining, and I know who I want to be, where I want to go. Um, and you think, well, all this time, I've been blooming. I've been walking the that narrow pathway on that journey to get to where I need to go for my goals. And you think that you know yourself, but the longer you go and the more you learn and the more you help others, the more you give, the more you realize that, hey, you thought you knew yourself then, but now you know yourself, and now you have that confidence to just take those risks. And
Well, I heard once that if you help people get what they want, you eventually get what you want. So I'm so
right.
glad that you're serving in that way. And what do you wish that the reader of your chapter, Bloom Without Boundaries, will actually take away from reading your chapter?
Oh, I wanted to write so much more. It was so hard to just stay in that those rules. But so I tried to do my best to, get all of it in there. But what I really wanted to tell them, what I really wanted them to take away was that anything's possible. Um, if you can envision it, then it's 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 there. You can do it. If you are dreaming it, there's a way. If you light that candle, you know, and you see it in the dark, it just starts lighting up everything, and you take it from yourself. You change your mind, you let go of the past, you let go of what's keeping you. Know yourself, because when you know yourself, you learn yourself. And don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself, because that's what's keeping you from going forward. You need to know yourself. You need to know your strengths and your weaknesses, and take those weaknesses and say, look, okay, I know I'm going to wiggle out of this, and this is how I'm going to do it. So I've got to have a counter to it. And you have to be your own advocate, your own, well, I would say grandmother with the switch.
Mm-hmm,
Get after
mm-hmm.
yourself, say, no, you're not doing that, because you need to do this, and you need self-discipline. It's going to take self-discipline. It's going to take training. It's going to take practice. And it's going to take, even when you don't feel confidence, even when you don't feel like getting up and doing what you need to do, when you don't feel like, okay, today I don't feel like being consistent, I don't care, you know, do it anyway. Do
Mm-hmm.
something to be there, to just show up. And when you start that, sometimes you actually, it makes you feel better, and you feel better enough to keep going. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you do what you got to do, and then you go back and lay down. But then other times, you know, and then you feel better about it, because you know you accomplished something, that you know that you were productive even when you didn't feel like it. So you have to kind of get over yourself, not really get over yourself, but get over your feelings, the negative feelings, and replace that with the positive, even when you don't feel like it.
I think that's some great advice there. And one of the generals gave a motivational speech from one of the armies. And it was, if you're going to do one thing today, just make your bed. You've accomplished one thing. And it's also the compound effect as well. You know, small, little, daily, consistent actions can compound and turn into big changes, because we don't realize how much can change in an actual year. And when we're
Right.
showing up daily and just doing small, daily, consistent actions, and this is kind of the theme of the book as well, it's you can grow from your comfort zone.
Right.
And you can still, we hear this expression, success happens at the end of your comfort zone. And I'm glad that you kind of led into that, Effie, because when we actually are in our comfort zone and we just stretch ourselves just a little bit every day, just a little bit, those daily consistent actions compound. And like I just said, it's amazing how much can change in a year, because a year ago, that person who's feeling anxious about the next level or the next step, they wish that they were where you are now. Because when we take those actions, it all starts with a decision. And
Right.
that's how we actually grow. Now, I'd love to know what you feel about going outside of your comfort zone to be successful. And I know this is the theme of the Power of Yes collaboration book. This is book number 2 in the series. I was very honored to be in book 1 and in book 2. And I even love it when Joe Vitale endorsed this book. And he said, he's from The Secret, dreams do come true. Get this book as a first step towards them and expect miracles. And the Power of Yes represents and presents building your network marketing business without leaving your comfort zone. So Effie, what is your take on being in your comfort zone and still being successful?
When they tell me that I have to step out of my comfort zone, that's when I freeze. But when I hear I can stay in my comfort zone, I can use my own unique ways of who I am and how I think, what I feel, and what I want to give to others, what I want to encourage them, what I want to inspire in others. I can do it all from my comfort zone because that's where my creativity is. That's where I am. That's who I am. And just like I said about the wiggling out of wiggling out of this or using excuses for that. Um, in a way, it's the same thing. Um, when instead of using excuses, instead of using the wiggle room, you work and you counter that in your own unique way because you know yourself and you know what you're going to do. So you counter it with something else. Well, in your comfort zone, that's your home. That's where you are. That's where you feel the safest. That's where you feel your best. That's where um, you can learn to create ways to do what you need to do for your business, for whatever you're doing, whatever your goal is from there, because that's who you are. And you need to be able to do it for the long haul. You can't just do it, you can't say, okay, I'll step out of my comfort zone and then I'll do it this way and then I'll get back. You don't have to do that. You can work it in a way from your own creativity, from your own skills, from your own personality. There's other people out there just like you that want to know, hey, how do you do this and how can I do that, and still feel comfortable and not be somebody else. You don't have to try to be someone that you're not.
So you're saying that you can still be true to your own values and belief system and just still stay in your comfort zone and not feel like you have to be unauthentic to actually achieve success.
Right.
Fantastic. Effie, that is just so helpful to so many people that maybe want to enter affiliate or network marketing or any other product, service or opportunity-based business, any business at all. And I think it's great advice that you've actually touched on there, as well as we don't want to go out and then come back in again. We want to be able to just step out just that little bit to become that other, the better version of ourselves, with our belief system and our morals and our values still intact, without compromising them or feel unauthentic or non-organic as well. And what have you got coming up in 2022? It's not that far away now.
Well, like I said, this has kind of helped me bloom a little bit further. I can say, I feel like a flower that's finally opening up, and I said that 5 years ago. I said that 2 years ago, and I get it's a constant thing, and you learn yourself more. So, for me, like I said, this was a breakthrough, showing me that I can do this, that I'm okay, that I'm more confident than I ever have been. And I want to take that novel that I've written off the shelf and edit it and send it in. And it's okay if I get 100 rejections.
It
Just
sure
do
is.
it. So that's one of the things. Yes, that's one of the things that I definitely am looking forward to. And more writing.
That is wonderful. And what kind of message do you want to leave our audience on today?
I always say dream in color. And I never knew this, but some people, not everyone dreams in color. When you dream in color, you can envision what you want, who you want to be. You can take one step at a time, one day at a time, And that's all it takes, because that is progress. At least you're trying. If you don't try, you never know.
That's it. If you don't try, you will never know. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the release of the Power of Yes series, book number 2, with fellow collaborative author Effie Sanford. The Power of Yes, building your network marketing business without leaving your comfort zone. Effie, thank you very much for being brave to share your story. We'll be sharing where to connect with you. You are so appreciated. And you can find the Victim to Victory podcast series on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and our Facebook group. Please subscribe, share, and comment to help be the change that the world needs. And let me leave you with a message of step into your story, figure out who you are, and do it on purpose. Looking forward to that book coming out, Effie. Bye for now.
Thank you, Tracey.